Hello everybody! Yes, I started a YouTube channel. I don't know why, I just kind of felt the urge to make a YouTube channel. So here I am. I have no idea what it's going to be like. It could be me cooking, it could be me dancing in front of the camera, who knows. But I just wanted to start off with something that's been on my mind lately, and I feel like I want to share with everybody. So I got a tattoo this quarantine, and it says, "Love is someone we become." So I'm kind of basing it off that, I guess. That phrase, "love is someone we become," it's just always rang in my head, and it's just stuck. And it never had that much meaning until now. So I would keep hearing it. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about love, and we're just gonna go on a little journey here, okay? So bear with me and listen if you want to listen. So it says love is someone we become, but honestly, love is what we are at our core, if you really think about it. It's a matter of uncovering all the stuff we've been conditioned to think about ourselves, all those beliefs and everything. So it's kind of we've forgotten who we really are. And that's okay, because the road to rediscovering this love is just so much more fulfilling than you think. And I hate to say it, but it is a journey, not a destination, okay? So it's not once you become love, you're I am love, and then you're done or something. I don't know. It's all about the journey, guys. Sorry to break it to you. But lots of people have distorted perceptions of love, and I mean, it makes sense growing up in the world we've grown up in, and unfortunately, but all of our perceptions are really, really unique to the individual. And depending on the environment they grew up in or whatever, that's going to change their perception. So some examples from childhood, it could be maybe a child viewed their parents or looked at their parents and their siblings, their friends, and kind of realized that in their head love meant sacrifice. Maybe you had to give up something in order to get love, that was the only way. Or maybe love meant no fun. Maybe love wasn't playful or enjoyable. Maybe it was more of a way to provide for the family rather than something deeper. There's so many perceptions of love. Or maybe you think love is a fantasy and it doesn't even exist. There's a lot of different perceptions people have. And so yeah, those are all formed in childhood or whatever. But I'm not going to start I'm going to start by telling a little bit of my story and what I've came to realize, but I'm not going to start from childhood, because I did have a lot of distorted visions of love. But I'm going to start more from high school and relationships and stuff, because I feel that's more applicable to you guys. Because I mean, people our age are in their 20s, and they're getting into relationships, they're wanting a relationship, they're wanting out of a relationship. A lot of things are surrounded by boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever. So personally, my point of this video is that my idea of love really took a turn lately, and I just felt so compelled to share it. In high school, I started dating for real, more. And I got in a relationship the beginning of my sophomore year, so still pretty young. I still felt like a freshman, and it was a really long-term relationship. It was 3 to 4 years, and that relationship was the start of me experiencing what love was, right? Because I mean, it was your first boyfriend, girlfriend. Whether you have a good or bad idea of love, that's kind of your idea of love. So my perception was expanded. That was that. Anyway, that was high school. I was young. Now, that was just one more step in the process, and me expanding my meaning of love. So I'm not here to tell you every single detail of my life, because that would take forever, and you don't want to hear it. So, and that wouldn't benefit either of us. So after that relationship, I got in a few more, and I kind of I was just never really satisfied with deep love, on that deeper level, And as a result, I kept getting into relationships. Because of that first long-term one, I just kept getting into it, because having a boyfriend was literally all I ever knew. So it was I craved love, and I thought I found it in boyfriends. Okay, my laptop actually overheated, and that's why the video stopped, so I had to go back inside and let it cool off. But it's all good. I got a frozen, like, thing of ground turkey, and I just put it under my laptop right now, so it's just sitting on some ground turkey at the moment. Shoot, I don't know where I was. That's right. So, having a boyfriend was all I ever knew, right? It was almost like I have always craved love and connection and all that stuff, and I thought I found it in a boyfriend. So it was something external, right? And for me, it happened to be a boyfriend. It could be anything for anybody, but that's what it was for me. So yeah, I was craving some sort of love and connection that would fulfill me. And fast forward, I got to a breaking point. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, microscopically. Dude, any level you could think of, I promise you that was part of the breaking point. It wasn't like I heard a voice say, "Hey, Brenna," like a voice from down above saying, "Hey, Brenna," just, letting you know that you don't find love in serious relationships. And I wasn't like, "Oh my goodness, thank you, like, perfect, life is great now." No, like, I didn't even know what I was going through. I was just, hitting the breaking point. It wasn't an easy transition, but I did have this intuition that I needed to be alone. And I literally forced myself to not get involved in a serious relationship. And that might sound stupid. That's where I found my fulfillment. So it is what it is. But honestly, we all have our different ways of trying to fulfill ourselves. So it just depends. And it's always external. It's always outside of us that we're trying to fulfill, right? So, I mean, for me, I like one of the biggest things that was hard for me is I like talking to people about my day-to-day happenings, and I love hearing about other people's day-to-day happenings, and I think it's just fun. I just like talking to people. It's fun sharing your life with somebody, And when I had a boyfriend, it meant I could text someone my stupid shit 24/7 randomly whenever I wanted, and I wouldn't feel guilty about it, and easy access, So that was a plus, and that was taken away from me too. So not only was I already pushing myself into some an uncomfortable place, I also it was a really lonely time. Being fulfilled by someone else's so-called love is what kept me going, And now I didn't have that. So it was okay, what do I do now? There's lots of different waves of emotions, positive, negative, all that stuff. Anyway, this lack of fulfillment led to lots of different phases for me, including obsessions and addictions. Okay, not substance abuse though. I mean, personally, I've never been a huge fan of heavy drinking or heavy drug use and stuff. So that wasn't an issue. So even at my lowest point, that didn't happen, which is good. But I mean, we're all different. So for me, my obsessions and addictions took the form of I put a lot of energy into school. So I just worked super hard at school, to the point where I felt like my hair was falling out. I got headaches all the time. I was just stressing out about school. And I mean, it paid off. I got great grades and stuff, but I was putting all that energy in, and I got the good grades, but I still didn't feel fulfilled. It was really interesting to think about, actually. And I also craved shopping all the time. It would make me so happy in the moment because it's just fun being with friends, or my mom or whatever, she would buy me stuff, and it's just fun. And I was kind of addicted to shopping, and that filled me up. And then I got home, and then I was okay, not fulfilled anymore. So the point is all these are very temporary, right? So I'm just trying to convey that there's a lot of external things that I was obsessing about or being addicted to, kind of thing. I also started hanging out with a lot of friends, so I kind of put my energy and dispersed it everywhere, which also led to not super genuine relationships, which was, it was my fault, a big portion at least, because I was the one just dispersing my energy rather than managing it and really giving my energy to the people that I felt, would make a good relationship with me or whatever. So I also learned a lot through friends, and, I was kind of confused because then I would have all these friends and then I was like not fulfilled and blah, 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 and then whatever. So my point is, lots of things, external things that I was going to because my relationship, I didn't have a relationship and I didn't want one. So it was like successful because I was like, yeah, I'm not having a boyfriend, but okay, so the frozen ground turkey didn't help either. So it stopped again. Oh, and I know you guys probably think, like, why don't I just go inside? But it's because it's, like, noisy inside, and there's, like, too many people, too many dogs right now. So we're gonna have to deal with it. I'm sure I'm gonna be done soon, so bear with me. Anyway, I was talking about how I put my energy into a lot of other external things, like replacing the relationship. I even got hyper-focused on, like, working out. Like, I worked out, and I was, like, super passionate about it to the point of, like, draining myself so much physically that, like, it affected me mentally, Yeah, I can't really think of any more right now. But I guess my point is I was trying to find my fulfillment elsewhere, but I was getting hurt because I was looking to other external places for love, which is not where you're going to find it. So, yeah, that was, like, a somewhat, like, dark phase, I guess. It was just, like, ups and downs, whatever. But the real darkness comes with the inner work. Dun, dun, dun.